Welcome back to Projects. This week, back on the KD175 restoration / rebuild. Got this engine sitting up on this bench. Currently over at my brother-in-law's. I'm going to be working out of his shop for a little while. My brother's got his Trans Am all torn apart in the shop at my parents', and I don't have a shop at home and have not been able to get a loan to build a shop at home for whatever reason. So anyways, we will be working out of here for a little bit, at least until this bike's done, and I'll still be going back and forth over to there to powder coat stuff and use a solvent tank and that kind of stuff. Anything that I need that I have over there, I'll be going over there to do that. So, well, Austin started out pulling out the drain plug to drain the oil, and it took all the threads out of the case with it. So we definitely know we're going to be helicoiling that hole, or maybe stepping up a size. We'll see what we can do when we have the cases apart and see what it looks like from the inside. If we can just go a size bigger, we will. If not, we'll throw a thread insert or a helicoil in it and get it fixed up. Wow, look at that fluid coming out of that thing. What would your professional opinion be of that?
Factory.
It's mint. Alright, the engine is finally pretty much totally disassembled and sitting out here on the bench. Looks like a big mess of parts. The piston has a little bit of scoring on it. As you can see there, it's got some deep kind of scoring marks. There's a little bit in the cylinder there where it left a little aluminum that you can kind of see. I'll have to clean that up and get a new piston and such. The crank bearings, that one is very noisy if you can hear that. It's got some rust buildup on it, on the cage, and then you guys probably can't see it, but down in the outer race, right in there, you can see some rust. There's rust all along the, what would be the bottom side of the bearing as the engine mounts in the frame. So, I'm gonna go through, inventory all the bearings and such that I need to try to find, and then the ones that are still good, if I can't find them, I won't get them, but if I can find them, I'll probably just try to get everything. So try to find clutches as well. The clutches were all kind of stuck together, so there's some kind of little pieces missing out of the clutch material. All the steels are all rusted as well. I could clean the steels up. I'm gonna try to find a new, I can't think what they're called, fiber discs. Other than that, the clutch basket and stuff, there's really minimal wear on the edges here. Everything else has very minimal wear. All of the transmission parts look really good. So you got some of the gears here. If I paid attention, I would have figured out what gears were which, but anyways, you can see how the holes still look brand new on there, and then the little teeth on this side that slide into it to shift gears all look perfect. These square ones look perfect. Usually what happens is these get rounded just a touch on the edges, or even where it's straight, where they lock together across here, they start sloping this way just a little bit from wear, and then you run into issues with them popping out of gear under load. But all of these ones look perfect, so I'm not going to worry about any of the transmission stuff. Even all of the bushings and stuff in the gears and whatnot all look perfect. So really the major thing I got to find is going to be a piston, some rings, clean up the cylinder jug. I might even see if maybe I can find a little oversized piston for it and just bore this. And then other than that, everything else looks good. So I got to find bearings, gaskets, some seals, and all that stuff, see what I can come up with. And then all of this stuff will be able to go back together. So all that's going to be in a different video. I just wanted to get it apart so I can get all these parts ordered. All right, so I think I've got everything stripped down, frames powder coated and everything waiting to go back together. Swing arm's still in the oven. I need to throw another coat on it. All these parts I need to get sandblasted to powder coat. I'm gonna powder coat the gas tank as well. Rear fender needs to get powder coated. The seat under tray, all that needs to get all sandblasted as well. And then I got a new cover and everything for it. Pipe I'm gonna probably sandblast and probably just paint with exhaust paint. And then this carb cover, I need to sandblast it as well, or grind it or whatever, clean it up there so I can try to repair the crack the right way instead of using some JB weld. Need to sandblast and powder coat kickstand. These foot pegs I need to take apart so I can reuse the actual foot peg portion, and then the mounts, I got new mounts, so as well as that needs to get powder coated. So I can get all this stuff loaded up in the car, take it down to my work, powder or sandblast this stuff, and then once it's all sandblasted, I can go ahead and get it all powder coated and painted. And then we'll be ready to start going back together with a lot of the frame. The wheels and such, I'm gonna take these apart and probably just polish up these hubs, get them all cleaned up good, as well as the wheels and everything there. I got new bearings on the way for those. Forks, I'm gonna have to take those apart, clean them up. They've got some surface rust and stuff on them, so I'm gonna get those all cleaned up and get new fork seals and everything put in there as well. Other than that, waiting on engine parts to show up. And once I get all the engine parts, I can start going back together with that thing as well. I'm gonna probably sandblast all these as well, and all the covers and everything that need it, and then powder coat them or paint them, whichever one works out. So we'll get those all ready to go as well. But first I want to get the frame going where I can start getting it reassembled, and once that's ready, then the parts for the engine should be showing up, and then it can get it all put back together. All right, so I got all these parts that sandblasted, the triple clamps and all these other little bits that go along with it, as well as the swing arm that I need to throw another coat on. Currently they're hanging from the bottom of an Audi because I bought an Audi to flip and it is currently torn apart, but I want to get some of this powder coating done, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these parts powder coated. All these parts have their powder on them and they're all ready to bake. So I'll be able to get them thrown in the oven once it's finished preheating. Not quite there yet, but we'll, as soon as that preheat light goes off, be slapping these bad boys in the oven and making some pretty parts. So now that the oven's up to temp and all the parts are in there, I just gotta wait until the temperature reaches 400 degrees per Prismatic Powder's cure schedule here. You wait till it reaches 400 degrees and then you cook it for another 10 minutes. So you gotta keep an eye on the part temperature using a infrared thermometer. Usually this seems to take about 25 minutes in this oven. So we'll keep an eye on it, check it here in about 10 minutes and see how it's doing, and then we can wait for it to finish. Make sure when you're powder coating you follow the directions that the maker of the powder provides, or the manufacturer provides. Each powder is going to be a little different. Some of them are 400 degrees for 10 minutes. Some of them are just until it reaches flow out, which is when the powder kind of forms into a liquid and looks all glossy. So just make sure that you follow the directions on the package. So for those of you that were wondering on the oven, the door seal, I just used like an oven seal or a what do they call it? Like a wood stove gasket, door gasket. Nothing special. This is just a self-adhesive stuff. And the stuff I ordered actually came with this lava lock high temp RTV for barbecue, smoker, and wood stoves. I only did a small little section around the door where there were some big gaps. Other than that, really, I mean, even with these large gaps and stuff, I didn't do any more of it, and it seems to heat up and whatnot just fine. Has no problems holding temperature. So also the oven elements, I just wired them, basically just teed two of them together, ran the factory wiring, except I just added in into the circuit. So I ran say the one wire from the controller that normally went on this leg and then the other one that went to this leg, and then just tied in this other one as well. Nothing special. I might even be able to show it back here. Kinda. See if I can get a better angle on this. Alright, so I don't know if you can see this, but the element on the one side, the two posts connect right next to each other. On the other one, they're far apart. So basically I took the two left side ones, ran them to whatever wire that was, the power of the ground for them, and then the other one I did the same thing. I just ran the two on the same side together, so it's not creating one big loop, it's creating two small loops back to itself. So that's what I did for that. Nothing too special, just used a bunch of the high temp wiring out of the ovens and some butt connectors. These are the heat shrink connectors, but I never shrunk them because I didn't really think it was all that necessary. I probably will eventually, but I wanted to make sure that it all was going to work first. So and then I did the same thing on the bottom, just ran them for the lower oven elements on the controller, and then the controller, I just kind of screwed it on the side here, and you can see it's really nothing special, just the wires that you use for controlling it. So you got the elements. Don't mind me knocking over a bunch of spray cans from one of my dad's deals that he was building. Yeah, nothing too special here, just some wires that basically created two small loops for the elements. Well, as you can probably tell by my glossy looking sweaty face, it is 8 o'clock at night, and based on the thermometer in the shop up here on the wall behind me, it is currently about 95 degrees in here, so that's pretty handy. Well, since we're just waiting around on the powder coating parts to cook, this is a car that I just bought to flip, try to make some extra money, trying to get a shop built at home. So this is a 2011 Audi A4 Quattro Avant. It is the wagon model. This thing's only got 120,000 miles on it, and it is getting timing chains because, as you can tell by that tensioner there, the main chain is completely stretched, and this one jumped teeth on the jump timing, a couple teeth. So I'm gonna be getting this thing done and try to get it sold here soon. I'm not gonna do any videos on this. I just thought it was kind of interesting. That at 120,000 miles, these things already need timing chains. But other than that, this car's in really good shape. So we'll get it sold here soon and use the money to put towards maybe another car to flip and make some extra money so I can try to build a shop at the house, because currently the building market is ridiculous, and I would like to have my own space to work on this stuff. All that being said, if you guys want to support the channel, you can hit up BuildsNotProjects.com. Get yourself some merch. We got hats, shirts, sweatshirts. I think there's coffee mugs on there still. I'll be changing up some stuff on there here soon, so make sure you keep an eye on it and get yourself some merch. Well, the parts are out of the oven, and man, do they look good. They are all nice and shiny. I sure am happy with the way that the results are on these things. I think they turn out super good. I'm really happy with it. So all those parts are done cooking. I'm gonna let them cool off. I think I'm gonna be done for the night with this stuff because it's a little hot out here, and I kind of want to go home and eat some dinner. So we'll be back onto this stuff here soon.